This is another program of Hannibal's Other Voice. This is the second in a series. I hope that everyone that's watching this had an opportunity to see the first one. The first one we did has been available on YouTube and Facebook at Hannibal's Other Voice. The first one had to do with how, if you're a homeowner in Hannibal, Missouri, how the Board of Public Works is cheating you. So if you haven't seen that, I know you'll be interested to take a look at it. Today, we're going to talk about local news and what became of it. This is especially close to me because when I was a young man going through college and law school, I was a news reporter. I spent 5 years working for the Hannibal Courier-Post and 2 years working at KHMO Radio. Back at that time, there were probably somewhere between 40 and 50 employees, full-time employees at the Hannibal Courier-Post, and maybe 20 to 35 employees at the KHMO radio station. And those were all fairly decent jobs. And they're all gone now. And I think that's something that should be of concern both to the economic development people and the Chamber of Commerce people in Hannibal. But what happened to them? Well, for the most part, the internet has made a tremendous impact on local news and local news outlets. The way that it used to be, at both the Courier-Post and KHMO, the newsroom was open. If anybody had something they wanted to ask about or something they wanted to tell us about, all they had to do was stroll in, and we'd listen to what they had to say. And sometimes it would lead to a news story, sometimes not. But there was a place to go if you felt like there was something going on in the community that needed to be made public. We don't have that anymore, and it's a detriment to our community. So what do we have now? Well, if I may refer to my notes, at the Hannibal Courier-Post, it no longer has any presence in Hannibal, Missouri. It's still there, but it's a subsidiary of Phillips Media Group, and their headquarters is in Harrison, Arkansas. They have 16 newspapers, 12 in Missouri, 3 in Arkansas, and 1 in Illinois, which is the Quincy Herald-Whig. The Hannibal Courier-Post really doesn't have a news person or news staff serving Hannibal. At KHMO is now a part of Town Square Media, and they're located in Purchase, New York, just north of New York City. Town Square Media has 349 radio stations, and they have no local presence in Hannibal. If you want to go to KHMO, you have to go to Quincy. KGRC used to have a news reporter or two, but now they're the closest. They are a part of Star Radio. They have 8 stations in Illinois, Missouri, and Montana, and their headquarters is at the Lincoln Douglas building up in Quincy. Our television station, which is the studio of which has been closed for a long, long time, KHQA, is now a subsidiary of Sinclair Broadcast Corporation of Hunt Valley, Maryland. Sinclair Broadcast Corporation is a propaganda media company. They have, I believe, 175 TV stations in 32 states. And the principal purpose of the Sinclair Group is to put out editorial content that they call must run, which every TV station they have has to put on the air. And if you watch it, every once in a while, you'll see something from the Terror Alert Desk. And the Terror Alert Desk is supposed to keep everybody afraid all the time because that makes us more manageable. Now, there are 2 other radio stations, KJIR and KHBL in Hannibal, and neither of them, to my knowledge, have any news function, so we won't get into that. Now, why is it important to have local news media that actually functions and tries to find out what the news is? Well, for us, the most important thing they do is keep us up to date on what our various local governments are doing. And right now, I'm involved in litigation with the city of Hannibal over their closed meetings. In 2023, the city council of the city of Hannibal had 24 open meetings, and they had 42 closed meetings. And what takes place in the closed meeting is often news of substance. Or on the other hand, it can be something that might be embarrassing to some officer or department of the city. Now, the local news media that covers the city council meetings never goes back to find out what happened at a closed meeting. And I have been able to get a hold of all of the minutes of the closed meetings that the city had in that time. And in one fashion or another, I'm going to make that available to the public sometime here in the near future. But what Hannibal needs is some agency, and I think maybe it has to be not for profit, some agency that keeps track of local news and what our local governments are doing, city, county, school board, and all the boards and commissions that we have that we support with our taxes. What we're doing here with Hannibal's Other Voice is trying to see if we can start something that would help create some kind of organization that would provide news, not necessarily opening a newspaper or getting a radio station license or anything like that, but just collecting it and having it, and in some way, perhaps over the internet, making it available to the public. And so, in conclusion on this program, I want to say that we have email address where you can contact us. The email address is hannibalsothervoice@gmail.com. That's all lowercase letters. And what we're looking for is anyone who thinks what we're trying to do here is a good idea. And if you have experience in any audio visual medium, if you're computer literate, if you're good at internet publishing or anything having to do with the internet, we'd like to hear from you. If you think that what we're trying to do would be a benefit, we'd like to hear from you. If you have free time and want to find out things that are going on, we'd like to hear from you. So please be in contact with us if you think that what we're doing is a good thing and you would be in a position to where you could contribute. So we'll be having another program here in the not too distant future, and we hope that you'll keep up with us.